chocolate to common medications, Dr. Cliff is here with us with the hidden dangers in our home that could be toxic to our furry friends. Hey, Dr. Cliff, how's it going?
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I think this is such an important thing to be talking about because I feel like I've heard that these pets getting into these things is actually kind of on the rise right now.
More and more common, and people know about chocolate, but they don't know about all these other things, so it's great that you're having me here.
Yeah, okay, let's get into it. Keep our pets safe. So we're gonna start off with the one that we do know, and that's chocolate.
Yes, and chocolate's very, very serious, very, very common. The important thing to know is the doses in the concentration of the darkness of the chocolate. So the chemical is called theobromine.
Okay.
It's kind of like caffeine. And if a dog were to eat, say, milk chocolate, it might be okay. Talk to your veterinarian. But things like baker's chocolate, strong, like 90% pure chocolate, all those things have so much theobromine that the dog will essentially, and cat, can have a high heart rate, can have a high temperature. They can actually seizure if it's bad enough.
Oh, wow.
And it can be fatal if they don't get to the vet quick enough. You got about 2 or 3 hours, so call right away and then let us do our thing.
Okay, that is good to know. And I always wondered what it was in chocolate, but that's interesting that the doses are different in the different types of chocolate too.
Yeah. So call us and we can help you figure it out.
Okay, perfect, amazing. Now moving on to the ones that maybe people know a little bit less about, we're talking about grapes and raisins.
Grapes and raisins, the big issue with this, and again, people realize this is toxic to their dogs, but they don't realize that a single grape can potentially be fatal.
Oh, wow.
And the chemical is called potassium bitartrate, which is also cream of tartar.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So certain candies have it. You use it for baking, as you would know.
Totally, meringues and things.
Exactly. So cream of tartar, potassium bitartrate, it damages the kidneys and causes cellular death of the kidneys.
Oh my gosh.
But the issue is the symptoms, vomiting, weight loss, poor appetite, drinking and peeing a lot, it can happen weeks later.
Oh, okay.
So you can't wait for the symptoms, because by then I can't do my job.
Yeah.
You need to call me right away, and if I tell you to come in, or your veterinarian says come in, you need to come in, because we can save that animal if we have enough time.
Okay, that's good to know. And also that makes sense, because cream of tartar is a byproduct of wine production.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that that's in there.
That's the issue that that causes it, that bitartrate.
Okay, right on. Now, next up, we're talking about xylitol, which is like an artificial sweetener kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. And the other artificial sweeteners, stevia, aspartame, sucralose, all those are okay. Those are safe. Xylitol has this tricky little thing that it tricks the cat or dog's brain into thinking it ingested massive amounts of sugar.
Okay.
But it didn't.
Yeah.
So then the body produces massive amounts of insulin to drop
counteract.
the sugar. So these guys will actually come into our hospital on this sort of diabetic coma because their sugars drop so fast. And the problem with this is you got about 30 minutes before the effects start kicking in.
Okay.
So if my dog were to eat something like this, and she does tend to grab things, I've had raisin toxicity with my own dog.
Yeah.
I would give her some honey to eat, or some maple syrup, something like that.
Something actually sugary.
Yeah, exactly. And then still get to the veterinarian, or I bring her to my own clinic.
Yeah.
But timing is very, very critical for this.
Okay, that makes sense. Really, that's really good to know. Now, these are some of my favorite ingredients, but maybe less so for a dog. We're talking about onions, garlic, things like that.
Yeah. So anything in the allium family, onions, garlic, chives, what else?
Shallots,
leeks. What are you, master chef?
Honestly, that sounds delicious. Also, yeah.
But I'm pumped. Try the veal. Vegan veal. Try the vegan veal. So these sulfur products contain disulfides.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is these disulfides damage the red blood cells and produce these lesions called Heinz body lesions. It's like oxidative damage. The body then recognizes the red blood cells are damaged and destroys them. So what ends up happening is you get this thing called hemolytic anemia. There's going to be a test, everyone pay attention.
Okay.
Hemolytic anemia,
okay.
or lysis of the red blood cells. So the animal becomes very weak, they will get pale gums, their urine becomes a dark color. If it's bad enough, they actually need blood transfusions.
Wow.
So it's very, very serious. Now, the dosaging is It has to be either a lot or multiple
Over time.
days in a row. But when in doubt, call the vet. We'll tell you if it's okay or not.
Okay.
And just keep these things away from your pets.
In your human pantry, not your pet pantry.
Correct.
Yes, okay. Now, next up we're going to talk about ibuprofen and acetaminophen, common like pain relievers that we have.
Yeah, over-the-counter pain medication. We joke that animals are basically little furry people, which they kind of are, and we can write prescriptions to local drugstores, human drugstores for medication, but stay away from these over-the-counter stuff. Now, the anti-inflammatory types can cause stomach upset, stomach ulcers, that sort of thing. But I want to talk about the acetaminophen, especially for cats. A single drop or two of baby, like liquid acetaminophen it could kill your cat, unfortunately.
No. Okay.
And what ends up happening is the red blood cells have hemoglobin. This is where the test comes in.
Okay.
The red blood cells have hemoglobin. Hemoglobin carries oxygen. The hemoglobin is converted to methemoglobin.
Methemoglobin.
And then if you have high levels of methemoglobin in your blood, everyone say it with me once I say it once, you get methemoglobinemia.
Methemoglobinemia.
Very good. It's a great parlor trick for cocktail parties.
Yes, that's a fun new word. Yes.
And what ends
Scary.
up happening is the cat will again become very lethargic, lose its energy, and their gums become chocolate milk color.
Oh, weird.
And the treatment is actually this eye medication that treats this methemoglobinemia. So very, very serious. Especially for cats, please be careful.
Okay, that is good to know. Egg steers clear of all that. Egg is my cat. That's it. Dr. Cliff, this was absolutely amazing. Great information. Thanks so much,
Thank
man.
you.
Keeping our pets safe. We got to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.